But we are conscious that we face in today's world many challenges that unite us in common purpose. The challenge of climate, which this week you here are facing some of your hottest temperatures ever. Similarly, my own country and the region in which you find Barbados in the Caribbean Sea, we've had tropical storms last week with other systems coming off the coast of Africa. Similarly, we see in the United States of America the consequences of the wildfires in Canada impacting the smog that you found in New York City and Washington, D.C. And therefore, it will moderate what we can effectively do, because our first obligation is to protect people, as your country has done well.
In recent years, you have made your voice and concerns heard very loud on the world stage about the solidarity and also the urgency to address the issue of climate change. Is this because you are the Prime Minister of an island nation that is surrounded by a vast area of marine space, which is about 30 times of your land area? That is why you have been always on the forefront of this issue.
Well, there's no doubt that small island developing states are on the front line of these difficulties. We like to say that we have been the canaries in the mine. And regrettably, had people listened to our concerns earlier, we might have seen quicker action. We're now seeing countries between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn predominantly affected, and this constitutes probably about 40% of the world's population. The big issue for us, of course, is will we have sufficient time to do and to protect as many people and as many of our institutions and as much of our country as possible from the ravages of it. For us as a small island developing state, I refer to the floods and the hurricanes as the chronic NCDs, the big events of the climate crisis. But the more insidious events, the ones that are attacking us daily, are the water shortages. And those are compounded very often by drought. And then, of course, the presence of sargassum seaweed, which comes on our shores in huge, huge, huge amounts. Overnight, you can have 3-4 feet of sargassum seaweed piling up. And with its pungent smell, it makes it difficult for people to conduct business or to recreate on the beaches, which, as you would realize, would have a negative impact on tourism economies. So across multiple fronts, as a small island developing state, we face these realities. The most obvious example of it with respect to our marine resources is the destruction of coral reefs. And there is a perspective that within 30 years, if we don't check our behavior, the planet can see most of the coral reefs on the planet destroyed.
Just as the old Barbadians goes, one blow does kill one old cow. So any trivial changes, I did my homework. So any trivial changes could really sometimes make a catastrophic impact to the climate change, right?
Exactly. And what we're seeing across the world, regrettably, are climate migrants. What is demanded of us is the coordinated action to protect the planet, to protect the biodiversity, to see how we're going to use what we have. We like to refer to Barbados as not only a small island developing state, but a large ocean state. You referred to our ocean jurisdiction just now being 430 times the size of our land. And therefore, we're conscious that we have an obligation that goes beyond what our land size would otherwise reflect. And that obligation is to recognize that oceans really will be the next frontier in the protection of the planet.